Hello everyone and welcome back to your piano lesson. If you are here for the first time, I am Gianluca Fronda, your virtual piano teacher. If you want to discover interesting facts about me, you can watch the introduction video of this channel. I'm leaving the link in the description of this video, where you will find also the link for my artistic channel, Gianluca Fronda, pianist and composer, if you're interested in original music and covers. Talking about this channel, don't forget to subscribe and let me know about yourself by commenting. Tell me when you have started, if you're finding my channel interesting and you're improving your skills also thanks to my videos. And don't forget also to share with your friends if there is anybody interested in piano music, anybody that you know. So now time to go to our lesson. Today is time for the 21st music theory lesson. And I am going to talk about the key signatures. Before proceeding, I want to invite you to watch the previous music theory lessons. There is the playlist in the description below. In case you haven't, I invite you to, in order to understand properly this lesson, I invite you to watch the 19th and the 20th lesson. In the 19th, I explained the birth of the major scale, how the major scale was born, and how to build it up using the tetrachord. And this is something very important to understand the key signatures, to understand the following theory lesson, that is the one published the last week, and that was about the circle of fifths. I noticed that not everybody really understood how important is this lesson. I invite you definitely to watch it. I definitely explain what is the circle of fifths. I used also the clock to explain, and I hope that using the clock you will understand it even more. And today, finally, the development of the 19th and the 20th music theory lesson, the development of the major scale and the circle of fifth, is taking you to the understanding of the key signatures. I already introduced something regarding the key signatures in one of the first lessons of this new project, but today we have to finally really understand more and more, and will be all based on what has been explained in the previous two music theory lessons. Let's dive into the understanding. So here I wrote circle of fifths. Maybe I can do even something like I'm writing key signatures. Today, instead of writing them, I will use something quite clever. On the back of my manuscript there are all the key signatures, as you will learn and find also on the music theory book. For example, on chapter 4 you have the explanation of the major scales, the keys and the clefs. So you see, this is a simple introduction to some of the key signatures. Moving a few pages further, you will definitely find on page 26, if you're using the AB guide to the music theory, all the key signatures, finding even the name of the sharps and of the flats written down. What do we have to keep in mind when we talk about key signatures? First of all, the key signature is expressed in the space in between the clef signs and the time signature. Let's assume, for example, that we are using the 4/4, yeah? Today I'm leaving lots of space. If there is nothing at all, you are definitely in the key signature of C major. You see, on the music theory book, there is nothing in between the clefs and the potential. Imagine that here we have the time signature. You are in the key of C major. Also on the back of my manuscript, same story. C major. Don't mind this, or A minor. We will talk about it in the near future. Nothing, no element, no sharp, no flat. The first key signature featuring one sharp will be the one that we call G major. G major. So the clef, the sharp sign, and I want to show you. So it will be in between the clefs and the time signature. The order is clefs, key signature, time signature. This is the key signature of G major. G major. As soon as you get one flat, it will be, first of all, the B, the note that has to be flattened, and same as in the previous case, it will be in between the clefs and the time signature. We are in F major. F major. Now, let's try to understand what has to be done from now on to understand and to master properly the concept of key signature. I keep repeating that I invite you to watch the music theory lesson number 19 about the birth of the major scale and the tetrachords, and the previous one, the last one, where I explained the circle of fifths. So I said that if the major scale was born using two identical tetrachords, the tetrachord was this one, the one having tone, tone, semitone. Then you keep the distance of one tone in between the last and the first of the second, and you add the second one identical, tone, tone, semitone. If you take off this one, you start building up now, doing the same identical thing. Copy the tetrachord, respect the same identical distances, and here we are. This is the reason I said why in G major you get the F sharp. This is G major scale having F sharp. Now I also said that, let me take it here now, this is the ending of G major. I take off the first, I bring this D, E, F sharp and G here, and I want to add the next one. The next one, respecting the same identical principle, I said that has to be, we'll have A and B and C sharp and D. And the second sharp that we are adding is the C sharp. This is the key signature of D major. D major. I'm not going to write it here because obviously it's quite clear now, finally. But which one is the very important thing to keep in mind from now on is that the sharps, same as the key signatures or the scales on the circle of fifths, as I said the last week, they are all of them 1/5 from the previous. So the distance in between the sharps is exactly 1/5. Let's double check if I am right. If the first is F and the second one is C, the distance in between F and C, which one is it? F, G, A, B, C is 1/5. Let's try now. The one with the three sharps is A major. The third sharp will be 1/5 from the C, is the G. Let's check in between C and G, we have 1/5. C, D, E, F and G, and so on. All of them, the 7 sharps, will be all of them 1/5 distant from each other. Where anyways in music, as I mentioned the last week and the previous week as well, you have to remember that we count starting from the first. So I include the F and the C. F, G, A, B, C. This is the way we consider the intervals in music. We add the first and the last. And this is what you have to keep in mind. Now, I also mentioned that today I want to finally show you which one is, I want to share with you the secret to get the name of the key signature if we give you the number of sharps, or opposite, if I give you the name of the key signature, understanding which one is the number of the sharps. The first thing that you have to anyways do is to remember that the first sharp is always F. You see? All of them start with F sharp. And then straight after you add, here only the C sharp, here C sharp and G sharp, here C sharp, G sharp and D sharp, and so on. But the first is always the F. Now, pay attention. If the sharp is F sharp, the key signature is G. So the sharp is the F and the key signature is the G. It's just one diatonic semitone far from the sharp. We should say from the last sharp. In this case it's the only one. But here then the C will be the last one that is added. Indeed, you have to simply remember that the relation in between the sharp, or the last sharp, and the key signature is the one of one diatonic semitone, because the last sharp, or the only one, is always the 7th note of the scale. Let's go to double check now in D major. If in D major the last sharp is this, and the key has to be the D, is confirmed again this principle that the distance, the interval in between the last sharp and the key signature, and the key, the tonic, let's say the main note of the key signature, is always one diatonic semitone. because indeed also in this case this is the last one that has been added, and this is again the 7th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8. And the same story will be in A major. In A major the last sharp is the G. Here we are, this is A major now, and this confirmed. This is the last one that I have added, and this one semitone, one diatonic semitone from the tonic, from the first note of the scale. First, even though it's 1 octave higher, but it's anyways the first, A, A. What does it mean diatonic? It means that you have to simply consider the semitone, changing the name. If this is G, this one must be called A. If this is A, this one must be called G. And the same story will be in the one with 4, and so on. So, the 7 sharps, they are F, C, G, D, A, E sharp, and B sharp. We are reaching here the total amount of sharps. So, to simplify, if I give you the number of sharps, for example, I tell you, which one is the key signature with the 3 sharps? The 3 sharps, remembering the interval of fifth in between the sharps will be F, C, and G. Now, if I ask you which one is the name of the key signature with 3 sharps, you will do. So if the last one is G sharp, will have to be 1 diatonic semitone up and will be A. Or if I tell you something else, which one is the number of sharps featured in the B major scale? So B major, okay, the name of the scale is the B. Go 1 diatonic semitone down, reach A sharp, that will be the last sharp. Start counting from F. So the first one is the F sharp, then I have the C sharp, then I have the G sharp, I have the D sharp, and A sharp will be the 5th. Indeed, B major, you will know that is with 5 sharps. You can do simply this calculation, writing all of them down, and apply this principle. If we now move to the ones with the flats, the story is a little bit different. You are not going to check which one is the last of the list, and then you move 1 diatonic semitone up. In the scales with the flats, the name of the scale, of the key signature, comes from the second last flat featured in the key signature. Let's first of all anyways try to check the flats, and if also the flats are 1/5 apart from each other. On the music theory book, on page 26, you can read 1 flat, the key signature is F major, and as B flat, and we discovered also why the last week and also the previous week. Then with 2 we have B flat and D flat, and let's check if they are 1/5 apart. B, now we have to go down, yeah? We have B, A, G, F, and E, and this definitely exact is correct. And let's see if the one with 3 flats that will add A confirm that in between E and A there is 1/5. So E, D, C, B, and A, and here we are, is confirmed because the distance in between E and A is definitely 1/5, and so on. We can definitely mention all of them one by one. So the flats are B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat. With F flat you have 7 flats. And the key signature, as I mentioned the last week, is the C flat major. Okay? So, what I was saying, when I give you, for example, the number of flats, if I ask you which one is the name of the key signature, you will have to check the second last flat. Forget 1 second about the F major. What you will simply learn from now in the future, I hope that I can explain why, how you can apply the same identical principle even here. Because you might say, okay, but there is nothing that is the second last. I don't have any possibility of finding the second last since I'm starting from 1 here. How can I? So let's start in this from the one with 2. I told you that the second last flat will give you the name of the key signature. If I have B flat and E flat, the E flat is the last, B flat is the second last. And indeed the name of the key signature is exactly B flat major. Let's check in the one with 3 flats. If the last one added is the A flat, according to the principle that the second last will give you the name, the second last indeed is the E flat major indeed, because the first was B flat, then E flat second last, and last A flat, and the name comes from this. but it's also through that you can definitely use the principle, the method used in the previous videos, where I try to explain, to show how to get the scales, adding one tetrachord to the left. And so on. You can do this check using all of them. I hope that today it's clear what I mean. I have clarified finally which one is the place where you get the key signature on the music sheet. Is in between the clefs and the time signatures. I've explained which ones are the sharps, which ones are the flats, which one is the interval in between them, how to find the name of the key signatures with sharps given the sharps, or which one is the number of sharps given the name of the key signatures, and I've done the same in the ones featuring the flats. I really hope that it's clear to you what I mean. I know that it's becoming more and more complicated, everything. If you have any question, anyways, feel free to comment to let me know if you need any extra explanation. If it's the first time you're landing on this channel thanks to this video, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.